There's no question about it. But then, whenever it came time for the check on me, it was always Jesus and Mary on my lips. And this was my input. And there was one time when, I really felt that the message got through. And, there were times when I can remember waiting for a response, to Jesus and Mary, waiting for a response. And I can remember where, in particular, this one situation where there were clearly thinking beings who were coming from a completely different place with really nothing in common, and we were trying to meet at the Blessed Mother. And I was always the one that was completely surrendered, I was always the one that was completely resolved to, in essence, defer my existence to her. Honestly, whatever, wherever, whoever, I was always resolved and thankful and grateful to have any place under her queenship that I was allowed to have. Never wanting more, or never manipulating or trying in any way, shape, or form to be deceptive or dishonest. In this world, I was always completely 100% honest and aware of my own shortcomings, and Mary's presence, but not immediate presence, but the thought of her, and bringing that thought into this world. And I wasn't alone. There were clearly other intelligences there, clearly. There was no question about it. So I know it's very, very difficult to make sense of this. And my thoughts on this is basically, there are beings, and these are not beings that I would say are Christian. Coming from heaven, let's put it that way. They're not shaking my hand, they're not welcoming me per se, but I do have a presence there and a voice there, and clearly a consciousness there. So it's like going into a room of strangers, not knowing who you're in the room with, having no idea, but realizing you are on a very high level and you don't know how you got there, and clearly you have no power there. You have no gun, no weapon, you have no ability to walk out, you have no ability to stop what's going on. You're just there, and the only thing that I could do was input my projection of Jesus and Mary, in a very specific way, Mary. And I ended up having a couple times a very clear awareness that I was dropped, literally dropped. So my guess is that I was levitating and I was just dropped. No cushion, nothing, okay? I've been bruised here. You see my eye. This is all yellow here. This is still sore. This here, you can see the yellow here, okay? So you're talking, you know, pretty significant whack, like up, down, and across, okay? Lip here, swollen lip. This is fine over here, this is fine. But trust me, this temple area, very, very sore. My left knee, sore. My right pinky, okay, turned to a 90-degree angle. Other times where my forearm, very, very bruised, sore, beyond sore. The time that I was on my knees with my head behind me on the ground, my knees, I couldn't walk. I could not walk for probably, I don't know, 6 hours. Okay, I had to crawl. So another time I can remember like crying, screaming for help. I couldn't move. I had to literally crawl out of a circle of oppression, you know. So there's clearly, you know, the movie I think of is Insidious, in which this boy and his father entered this realm where there were all kinds of spirits, things of that nature, and you know, like I said, the only thing that I had that saved me and protected me in this realm was my unwavering devotion to Mary. I can tell you that right now, okay? And I'm not worshiping Mary. I'm telling you that was why I was there. I was there to let these whoever know that Mary is the Queen of the universe, that Mary is the woman clothed with the sun, Our Lady of all nations. She has this amazing authority, you know. God is God. You understand? God is above everybody, okay? But of the created beings, Mary is the highest, I believe, of all created beings as far as authority. So that's the most I can really recall at this time. And like I said, it was not Mary's home where I was. I can tell you that right now. Clearly not. But I was able to bring her in and do the best I could under the circumstances. I know it was very powerful. I don't completely understand it. I know there's plenty of people who have been abducted and, you know, have had all kinds of things happen to them. Outside of those experiences, I am fine. I sleep well. I'm very bright, intelligent. I work. I have no problems, you know, concentrating, reading. I play basketball. I do praise moves. You know, I'm not in the best shape in the world, but, you know, I'm fairly active. So, you know, obviously I'm an evangelist. I evangelize regularly. I stood for Trump. I predicted a Trump victory. Right up until the, you know, the final days there. I predicted a Trump victory. I've had insights into things going on. I've been able to make predictions that were right, 100% true, accurate. I've been attacked. I've been rejected by priests and by people, feminists, those who I would say fall in the category of Pharisees. The Pharisees hate me. They can't stand me because I expose them. And the feminists who don't like men, who have issues with men, they don't like me at all. So those are the Pharisees in the church have reactions against me, and the feminists in the church have reactions around me. Other than that, I get along with people pretty well, and I'm not wealthy, I really am not wealthy. I would love nothing more than to go on a tour and share my experiences with people and share my music with people. I write music about Jesus and Mary. So that's what I'd love to do, that's really my goal. And I'll go anywhere, UFO conferences, abortion clinics, different religious services. There's no place I really won't go to bring the message. I definitely would go anywhere. So anyway, I do feel close to the Catholic faith in the sense of the Holy Eucharist, and I love the sacrament of confession, and I think there's real power there. And of course, the devotion to Mary. I do feel called to reach out to the Russian people because of Fatima, and I had no problem getting involved in the politics because I thought Trump was really worth getting behind. So that's pretty much it. I've had medical tests on these things, and they haven't really been able to find anything that's causing this. So we'll continue to look medically, but I don't think they're going to find anything medically because there's really nothing wrong with me. These are spiritual attacks, and so just keep my guard up, keep spreading the good news, and hopefully the physical attacks will stop. I think this last one was just the worst, and I don't think it's going to get any worse than that. I really don't. It was pretty bad. Okay, and there was one where my son found me on the ground, and he said, it looked like a seizure, Dad, but it also looked like somebody who was possessed in some way, shape, or form. So that coming from him, him recognizing a spiritual component to what's happening to me, I think is pretty significant, actually. He's 16 years old. He wouldn't say that. Trust me, he would not say that if he didn't. He saw it with his own eyes. He called 911. He was so worried and concerned. He called 911. And so anyway, God bless Jesus and Mary, King and Queen. We're getting ready for their return. God bless.